Good evening, Jonathan. This is Jeff Carr, and I'm responding to your initial post regarding the differences between an ANOVA and an ANCOVA. And I really appreciate your use of the term. How did you put it? You said procedural control for influencing variables. And I love that idea of procedural control because that suggests intentionality, and there has to be an intentionality to controlling for those covariates and for those extraneous variables. So when we're exploring the impact of those variables and what they have on each other, it's very vital, because when you don't consider the extraneous variables that may be having an impact, then you might have skewed data. And when you have skewed data, you have skewed results, skewed interpretation, and then reliability, validity, all of those kinds of things just are called into question. And so it's really important. And you nailed the uniqueness of the homogeneity of regression being very unique to ANCOVA versus ANOVA, because it's dealing specifically with covariates, and that's something you don't deal with when you're working with an ANOVA. And then I just wanted to point out that I've been involved in a lot of research over the years. I work for an academic institution, and I've worked for various projects and other organizations that did research, but most of my participation has been mostly with implementing the study after the research design. And then once the study was implemented, I was involved with looking at and interpreting the data, but very rarely have I ever been involved with the actual statistical analysis and the breakdown. So this was very unique for me, and as much as I kind of hate statistics, I struggle with all of the different acronyms and with the when to do this, when to do that, and I appreciate that our texts all have these breakdowns of the steps and everything, and that's really good. But what I really love is that, in spite of me not working with that statistical analysis as much as I was working with just the interpretation, I have kind of a newfound respect for the way that research is done and a better understanding of how it got to that point. So when I look at something and I just see the end data that are in tables, which is usually how I end up seeing it with the research that I'm involved in, I have a better understanding, a better respect, and I can actually find some joy in understanding, okay, how did they get to that number, and how did they get to, where are they at where they're saying that this percentage of people have a greater influence when you are considering as extraneous variables, and why we are accounting for them. So I appreciated that. I appreciated your post. It made it very clear and easy for me to understand, and I'm just looking forward to learning more.